Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to take a dive into something that we have been asked about a lot. We've done a little bit of testing on this one, graphite versus steel in the irons. Drew, what is your one-liner about graphite shafts in your irons?
I'll never go back to steel. Steel's dead.
Drew swings 6-iron at 108 miles an hour. Ball speed is in the mid 140s. You would think it's an X7, it's a Project X LS 7.0. You will play graphite from now until
Forever.
forever.
Yeah, I don't see it getting anything but better. And it's already, like, I mean, we'll see the other videos, but it's already better for me.
Yeah. When we worked together 4 years ago, I think we had you in 7.0 Project X. I mean, I'll be honest, it never crossed my mind that we would sample some graphite. It really never, and you know, not thinking really about the types of kind of profiles. I think at the time, I think your delivery was still pretty suitable. You're hitting a lot of punchy iron shots.
Yeah, that's all I did because I was
different.
worried about
Exactly.
all the time.
Now your delivery has a little bit of a different release to it. You can play this particular product and you don't see that ballooning flight.
Yeah, the biggest difference is the fact that it's flatter. It spins, it holds greens, but it doesn't rise like it used to.
Right. Drew's 6-iron is 3/4 of an inch long on our ruler, an inch on the TaylorMade Tour Truck ruler where your clubs were built. We have a test P7MB, we have Drew's 7MB. They're identical length, swing weight, loft at 29 and lie angle at 64 degrees. They are identical. We're going to literally put it through the test to see the difference for Drew in a Project XLS, which is what you played previous.
Yeah, loved it. Like, it's not a knock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
But it wasn't, you were having to adapt to the shaft. It wasn't quite flighting it through the right window for you.
Yep, like you said, I was just hitting punch shots. That's the only thing I could do on a course.
Right, right. So we're gonna run through the differences between the two dynamically. We obviously understand that there's very minimal deflection differences. If we were working on Enzo or gears right now, if we were looking at the kind of kick differences in terms of how much that shaft loads, unloads, acts like a spring like we want it to, probably not that much deflection in either which direction. Marginal, maybe a degree can be high. A degree is not going to change a ball flight by 30 feet the way that we've seen with you in some of the tests you and I have done together. So let's baseline your own 6-iron, then we'll hit some of the Project X.
Little left.
Okay. So right on the 108 miles an hour, we kind of mentioned 145, 213 in the air, had a little right to left on it, so brought the launch down a little bit.
But even that.
Okay. And if anything, you know, and those two, one's turned over and one was a little bit thin, but the miss is a flat miss.
Yeah,
and you're okay with that.
I'm fine.
You're never worried about how high you're going to hit it.
No, and that one's not going to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's short. It should be, but it's not ballooning and floating off into some hazard.
Yeah. You know you'll always hit it plenty high enough.
Yeah.
A1. 11.7 launch, 6,000 spin. Guys, we generally do see with a range ball, typically when we lose loft, we get a little bit more spin. When we add loft, we get less spin. Quite interesting that the friction really dictates launch and spin. So we're seeing this spinning a little bit on the high side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolute beauty. 12.2 launch, 6,100, 144 speed. I would call that for you stock ideal.
Yep.
Right, excellent.
And like you said, a little high on the spin because of range ball.
So if we look at the delivery, guys, this is where it gets interesting. So we're talking about how the club influences the delivery. That's 6.7 down in the angle of attack, 2 degrees into out with a face that's slightly shut. 0.2, sorry, I'm upside down.
Yeah.
0.2, so neutral is neutral gets. Face is a little bit shut to the path, which is where the draw comes in. That one read the speed up, we know it's about 108, 109.
Yeah.
That's stock numbers for you.
Yeah, very normal.
Love it. Project X launched the Project X LS with a reinforced tip section to try and drive the ball flight down to get the shaft to deflect less. Within the the True Temper family, which obviously own the True Temper Dynamic Gold range. The most played shaft on the PGA Tour historically has been forever. Project X is another great option played by Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth. The LS was brought in for the really, really fast guys, right? So again, designed to drive the ball down.
Yep.
Let's see. The moon ball.
I hit that solid too.
So 12.2 launch goes to 17 launch, 7,100 spin.
And I flushed that.
Flushed it. You lost about 12, 13 yards in carry. Your ball speed stayed about the same.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 106, flushed.
Okay, a couple more.
That was weird to see in person.
I mean, you couldn't have struck those last two any better.
I just have a hard time. Like, we saw it, we were, you know, I knew that's what probably was gonna happen, but I can't believe seeing it. That's just.
And that's came out almost identical, 17 degrees in launch, 7,200. So it's exactly like what you used to talk about. For you, historically, 6-iron was a 7,000 RPM club. Now, 6-iron for you is actually more like a 52 to 5,400 RPM. You've dropped about 16 to 1,800 RPMs by going to this particular shaft. And it's how you time the shaft. That's the important bit here.
Yeah, so if I'm listening correctly, it's not that this is doing anything different, it's that I'm doing something different with it. Or it's doing something different to me. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Where you feel the shaft, how you feel the shaft, how you deflect it, how you offend it would be the kind of technical term.
How it offends
me. How that offends you when it flies up in there. You know, this is fitting, you know, at its kind of most crucial stage right now, because that ball flight is really going to make golf very difficult for you to play.
Yeah.
Versus a 12-degree, you know, much more gentle on the rise.
Yeah.
You can play with that really, really nicely.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
Yeah, it's wild. Okay, just so that the range ball is not the variable that really dominates this video or people's questioning of the result, we're going to hit your gamer.
Yeah.
Chromesoft XLS. Let's hit a few. Your gamer 6-iron right now.
Yeah. Not the best.
Back into the 12.7 launch territory, 5,800 on the spin.
215 now.
Yeah.
And so if I can get one just a bit more solid. Yeah, like that's the one I play. That's the one. Yeah.
You love that. And guys, you know, we'll try and overlay the data here from the foresight, but what this club does, that's perfect.
Yeah, that's
it.
And I never saw that with a 6-iron.
No. What it does is it allows Drew to actually drive the angle of attack down, drive the dynamic loft down, obviously to the point where you know, the exit of the golf ball off the club face is so much flatter without the ballooning. So at 5,400 RPMs, some people might call that low, but when you've got the speed that Drew has, you're still going to apex that at, you know, 115 to 118.
Yeah, plenty high.
Great, plenty high.
And if you told me to hit it higher, I could hit it higher.
No issues. If you think you've got a tucked pin or a pin in front of a green with a bunker there or something, no issues. Okay.
Yeah. The issue is getting it down.
Yeah. All right. So again, looking to establish the dynamic differences here in delivery, what the weighting, what the deflection of this shaft does to your delivery.
You gotta be kidding me.
It's wild. So,
okay.
Angle attack shallows out 3 degrees, dynamic loft up at 25, static loft at 29. No. That's nowhere near low enough dynamic loft for you to hit your windows. 17.7 on the launch and 7,000 again. So that's the 1,600 RPMs we've talked about with your golf ball.
It's crazy.
Total.
Now, to be fair, I'm hitting these very centered.
Yeah.
And I've missed those. So maybe we play with some lead tape, but I'm hitting these well.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm just getting nothing out of them.
No. You just, you can't quite shallow the club that much and expose that much dynamic loft at your speed. And play well and flight the ball through the windows. It's one of the reasons Bryson is obviously playing with his lofts being as strong as they are right now, because you know, dynamically he will just deliver too much loft. He has to control his apex.
Yeah.
Like the lack of turf that's coming up, you know, 3.8 shallowed out, 25 again on the dynamic loft.
72.
17 and a half launch and 7100. Every ball is doing the same thing dynamically. 125 grams in that shaft, 120 grams in this shaft, a little bit counterbalanced, but it's just so different for you.
Yeah, I mean, the feel statically is dramatically different.
Yeah.
And then to swing it, it's like I can almost feel it, like the face is just releasing up to the air or something.
Yeah.
It's just drastically different feel.
Something about, you know, and this is where we would love to be on a, you know, mocap system, where we could see, you know, how much that handle and why that handle moves forward the way that it does. Some of the research that the great minds at Ping have found that actually the better the player, the softer the shaft, and this talks into you a little bit. The more you feel that shaft deflect, the more the inclination of the better player is to pull the handle a little more forward. So again, guys, that's the dynamic differences and influences the club has on the player, especially if you have elite awareness like Drew has.
Yeah, it's interesting. I remember that there's a research paper on
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
It's pretty cool to see that in slow motion. So guys, more to the story and benefit of being fit and obviously understanding the you know, the differences to shafts that will, you know, be pegged as being the same in terms of the launch and spin windows. They're not the same.
Yeah, I think it's also, don't be afraid to try stuff.
Definitely.
Like stuff that shouldn't fit you.
Yeah.
That's the thing I think I'm learning.
Yeah.
Between the golf ball, the shaft, it's all kind of messing with me.
And it all plays its part, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, like one can compromise the other. You're in the wrong golf ball, the wrong shaft. You can have compound effects in the wrong way. You can have compound effects in the right way.
Yeah.
You know, that compound club fitting effect is what I think is our little bit of a secret sauce at TXG. We're not trying to fix one thing. We're trying to fix a problem with 5 or 6 different things. And that's where you're going to have a little bit more success, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome job, pal.
Yeah, very
Great
cool
stuff. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned. We'll see you again soon.